Hey everyone, my name is Bill. I want to make this short video aimed at people who suffer from rebound congestion. And that's, I used to think that it was, an addiction to Sinex or Afrin or something. In a way it is, but it's something much more serious. When we try to stop using these nose sprays after we've become addicted, the rebound congestion is like 10 times worse than the original congestion. To me, I had problems over the years. This latest bout was a couple years. I was into Afrin 12-hour spray in one of these spritz bottles. This is not Afrin, but in one of these spritz bottles. And of course it started out with a cold or whatever, I remember. And it was once or twice a day, and then of course it was 3 times a day, then 6 times a day. You guys know how it goes. And to me, having this congestion is like an elephant sitting on my face. It is like the worst thing in the world. I'd rather have a headache, I'd rather have a sore throat, I'd rather have anything in the world than my nose clogged up like that. It causes me panic attacks, actually. So I'm pretty much hooked on one of the sprays here. I've got this little thing of Sinex sitting here. I was not using that. I was using the spritz bottle towards the end there, and I was using a lot of it. I finally, and as I said, over years I've been to a lot of different doctors, and it was always the same thing. Well, you got to quit using this stuff. Well, shit, if I could quit, I would quit. I wouldn't be sitting here paying you to tell me that. So this last time around, I finally went to a specialist, and I was hoping for some kind of magic pill that would just give me some kind of relief so I could get through it, or even surgery. I was hoping for a surgery or something. I was hoping that she would look at my nose and find something terribly wrong so that maybe they could just get it over with, or maybe even put me to sleep for 2 weeks. Anything, just to make it better. I was using, as I said, the Sinex 12-hour, and one day it stopped working for whatever reason, and so of course I was overdoing it. Then I was dumping ounces of it up my nose trying to get some relief, and I got nothing. It was the rebound congestion, and I couldn't get any relief, and I was in panic attack mode. I was freaking out. I bought 8 different things, tried using everything I could, tried to get some relief, and nothing was working. And I finally got a doctor to give me a sleeping pill just to try to get through the evening, and it didn't work. I was up through most of the night trying to step in hot showers, trying to blow my nose just to get a couple seconds of relief. Yeah, I'm sweating because it's really hot out here. I'm not nervous, but anyway, for whatever reason, the next morning, they all got different ingredients. The Sinex starts with D, I think, or O, whatever, I can't read it. And this other stuff starts with a P. And I was using, the Sinex, and then for whatever reason, the next morning I tried some of this 4-way, and it worked. And I had no idea why, because I tried it the day before and it hadn't worked, but it worked. And it ended up giving me about 1.5 to 2 hours worth of relief. And I could breathe. I could finally breathe, and for a moment I was kind of happy, but I was still in a panic mode because I just seriously thought I was going to come back again. So for 4 or 5 days I was living on that, just 2 hours. I was up every 2 hours through the night, because as well as I do, through the night it hits you. You can't breathe. Well, you're awake, and you're snorting and trying to get some relief. So every hour and a half at that point that I was having to get up and use the nasal for. It's also got, this is like the generic brand of 4-way. And I was kind of happy with that, but situation, I was you know, convinced that that's just the way I was going to live the rest of my life, being up every hour and a half, squirting stuff up my nose. My wife wasn't very happy about that, of course, because it was keeping her awake. Excuse me. So I made an appointment with a specialist, again, just hoping for something, some kind of magic. And I've never been so glad in my life. I finally did find some kind of magic. I told when I got in there, and I told the nurse what was going on. Of course, they asked, and I told her. And so she was out in the hallway telling the doctor what's going on. The doctor came in, and she said, "So you know what's going on? You know what's wrong, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I was waiting for that lecture." "Well, you got to quit." And so she said, "Why don't you tell me about it?" And so I gave her a little rundown of what I knew about sinus congestion in my particular situation. And she says, "Don't worry, I can help you." And just as simple as that, just that confidence in her voice, I automatically felt a relief right then and there. So she drew out this little plan for me, and that's what I'm going to try to pass on to you, get the motorcycles out of the way. And it was not murderous. It didn't kill me, and it wasn't that hard. So I want to pass this along, because nothing has ever worked. I've seen other things on the internet, how to use hypodermic needles to do this and that with your mixtures, but I'm gonna tell you, this way was 10 times easier, and it worked for me. So as I said, I was using the 4-way at the time I quit. So that's what I had to start with. See, I don't know, this is not Sinex, this is this natural junk that I tried, and no, it did not work for me. It just burnt the crap out of my nose. But I just got this here because it's got this spritz bottle, and that's the sort of Sinex I was using. I don't know how this would work with a spritz bottle, because they're like pressurized or something. But I guess I would suggest, if you're using the spritz bottle, to try to change to one like this so you can get into it. So she told me to purchase one of these. Sorry, the Flonase. You can buy them over the counter now, and this is a 30-day supply, and I'm sorry, 60 sprays. Yeah, 30-day supply, and it's as cheap as $13 now. They're not all that expensive anymore. Let me get this so you can see it. That ain't right. No, anyway, you get the idea. So you get one of those, or 2 of those, and a couple of your choice of whatever you use. And she said, for the first week, the first 7 days, she had it written down for me. For the first 7 days, use as much of this as you want. Yeah, I'm all excited about this. Use as much as I want. She said, but each morning, put 1 spray of this in each nostril. 1 spray. Okay, sounds easy enough. So I had it written down. I had everything set out in the bathroom. I mean, I'm ready for this. I'm just really hoping that this is gonna work. So then the second part is, on the 7th day, you know, or after the week, you take a brand new one of these, and what you do is you take the top off. And she showed me a way how to get it off. You just kind of bend it and get it off. Okay, she told me a little different. She said that these are full when you buy them. I said, no, they're not. There's a fill line there. But she was a boss. So what you do is you take the one that you're used to using, okay, and take another one, open up, fill it up to the top, okay, right up. I didn't go all the way to there because you couldn't get a good squirt. I went to about this line right here and pushed it back down. And so for the whole day, you can use it as much as you want. And at night, you open it up, and you fill back up to this line with distilled water. I had a gallon sitting right there in my bathroom in a little Dixie cup, and I would pour it in there and then pour it right down in here, right to that line, no more, right to that line, and put it back together, and the next day go about my business. And you know, you would think, and it, you know, is diluting. This is what it's doing. And you would think by the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th day that it'd really be diluted, and maybe your nose would start rebelling, and I was kind of prepared for that, but it didn't. By day 7, I could actually tell the difference. I was happy. I could tell something was going right. It was, it wasn't perfect. I was breathing a lot better, and I was maybe going 4 hours between sprays. Something was going right. And even though I was actually getting less medicine because I was diluting it, I was getting longer relief, if that makes any sense to y'all. Okay. And this continued. I did this for, I think, 21 days. Every morning, using this, one spray in each nose, and I made sure I got a good one in there. You guys know what a good one is. If you kind of get a crappy spray, do it over. That's what I did. You make sure you get a good one of these in there every morning, and then using this or this. But I and then filled up each night right up to the top again. And I just, honestly, I was waiting for that day when it just wasn't going to work, because I know come day 21, 26, 27 that she never gave me an end date. Okay, she made an appointment for me to come back in a month, but I knew by then there had to be like no medicine left in here, a very minute amount, and I was just basically shooting distilled water in my nose, and it was working. My nose, it would get a little stuffy, and I would squirt it in there, and I'd get the relief. And the day before I went to see her, I wanted to go 24 hours without squirting, so I could tell her I went 24 hours, and I did, and it wasn't hard. I was getting some through my nose without squirting. Not great, but I was getting it. And after that 24 hours, by the next day, it was miraculous. I could breathe through my nose. As she said, it was not murderous. It didn't kill me. It worked. It works for me, and I know if it works for me, that it can work for anybody if you just follow those simple directions. I know it for a fact. Well, not a fact, but I'm pretty sure that if it worked for me, it can work for anybody. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes, okay? I feel for people who have this condition, because it's real and it's nasty. All right, goodbye, y'all.